Good morning. It is September 24th. We are meeting with ECAT bargaining session. My name is Crystal Maduro, County HR.
Wes Moreno, County Administration.
Kristen Hill, County Attorney's Office.
Tanya Ellis, Mass Transit Director.
Rodriguez Kimbrough, Mass Transit Deputy Director.
Curtis Howell, ATU International Vice President.
Mike Lowry, Local 1395 President Business Agent.
James Stanton, Local 1395, Senior Vice President.
Elaine Wiggins, Financial Secretary, ECAT.
All right. Last time we met, I think when we left, we said we were close on Articles 31 and 33.
That's correct.
So we thought maybe we would start on something we were close with.
We can give those to him,
Yeah, and I have a package just to bring us up to date of what we think is open and available, and I'll pass them out. We think we're close on a few more.
Okay.
Oh, watch out, Mike.
Just make it a
I thought I lifted my leg high enough. I didn't realize there were two cords.
That's why I should pass them out.
Thanks, sir.
More people on your feet.
Here's an extra one, I guess. Not more.
So in the package that I just handed out, everything that's not in color is basically things that we've handed over that we're waiting on a response to, but we just wanted to make it easier for today where you didn't have to go back to a bunch of papers and all of that. That would be Article 4, disciplinary for the record. Let's see.
So you're saying you've handed these over?
Yes, yes.
And have not received a response.
Okay.
So those are still open items, so Article 4, Article 9, Article 14, Article 16, Article 17, Article 28, new Article 55, technology and bus operator compartment barriers, Article 56, miscellaneous, are the ones that are still kind of open that we still need to have some dialogue on.
Okay.
And then you'll see after that, all of them have our logo in the same color.
Mm-hmm.
And those are the ones that we're kind of countering back to.
Okay.
And as you said, we think we're also close on Article 9, 14, let me say 9 military, 14 paydays, 16 jury duty, 17 bereavement, 26 seniority, of course 31 as you said earlier, 33 as you said earlier, we believe we're close on 37 and 41 as well. So just things that we think we can probably close out pretty quick.
Okay.
So we're prepared for your 31 and 33 so we can try to close it out.
All right.
And they're in this packet right here. 31 and
But
33.
Tanya said she had some 31 and 33 for.
Okay.
We have a marked up copy and a clean copy of each.
Okay. He's ready for the wide receiver, so he's. Thank you.
Okay.
That's 33.
Sure.
Thank you.
Recruiting to. Okay.
And I take it we'll start with 31 since it's
Sure.
the lowest.
See anything in there that catches your eye?
Yeah, I want to see it.
Still looking, Jim?
So the question and concern I have is this part on page 2, on the back side. Paragraph 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Paragraph 7, right after the paragraph that lays out what the months are, it says the choose-up bidding procedure may be subject to change due to the implementation of scheduling software at the discretion of the Mass Transit Director. What does that mean?
Well, that means, it's like we discussed, okay, right now currently we're gonna choose up by hand, right? And when we get the software, you know, the software, now, right now, everything's done. When we get the software versus someone having to call in and all stuff like that, they're gonna actually be able to do their own choose up wherever they are. We still do everything the same way that we've always done, except now we're just gonna have the electronic, the technology now to do it. It's like other translators, you know, well, I wouldn't say other translators. I'll just say, we'll be able to use the technology to do it versus the way we've been doing it now. Everybody still receive their bid times, things of that nature there. Everything will still be the same, 15-minute increments and all that stuff like we do now. And it's just, now it's gonna be technology. Just by putting that inside of there, that's just allowing us to not have to do it by paper anymore. Like we'll be able to use the technology that we have. Because I know everything in there, everything we're talking about, including that, we gotta use the technology now.
The technology is not our issue. The way it reads is that there's gonna be a change in it, and it's gonna be the change that Tanya may want, and it's not gonna be agreed to. So what you just said doesn't specifically say that in here. It just says that the bidding procedure will change. Well, that's like an open-end statement, and it doesn't specify what will change, what wouldn't change. Are we gonna agree to the changes? It doesn't say anything, you know. I got you. I don't. So, do you understand what I'm saying? So, you know, for us, it has to be agreed to, because we're agreeing to the contract. So what you're saying is the procedure may change. And to be honest with you, we didn't even ask y'all to give us a demo of what the software is that you're buying and what it would do and what it would change. Probably would take us too long to go through all of that. So we understand there's a change. You're absolutely right. In our industry, we're used to technology changing it. We're not closed to it at all because we're agreeing to it. But we have to word it that it's in agreement with the Mass Transit Director and the union, because we don't know what the changes are. So for us, we need you to add the language Mass Transit Director and the ATU. So we're not opposed to change.
Okay.
So the wording of it just is open-ended, like we gotta, she can say, we're not doing anything, and this is what the new procedure is gonna be. We wanna make sure that we're at the table when it comes, and we're preserving what we discussed.
So, Rob, I hear you correctly, the process itself is to stay pretty much intact and whole. What I think I heard you say was that the way that they do it, they can do it electronically, so to speak.
Yes, sir.
Yes.
But the process in and of itself will remain intact and whole.
Yes, sir. The process, everything is outlined inside the collective bargaining agreement, even the current collective bargaining agreement as far as the process will still remain the same. It's just with this technology that we'll be implementing, the change will be.
It would be an addition. Now, I don't mean to cut you off.
in the future.
I'm used to it, right? So in Cleveland, Ohio, I would say I'm very familiar with their process. It would add to what we agreed to. It would add. You can do it. You can park your bus, get off, do it on your phone.
Yeah.
You can park. You can be in the break room and do it on the computers in the break room.
Right.
So those are the things that I'm saying. naturally, but we would still want to be in agreement with it.
Sure.
And address our concerns if there was any.
Right.
But this process, I understand won't change, but it will change as addition to this. Right? And
Okay.
we didn't ask you for what that may be right now.
Right.
So that's all we're saying, is we
Yeah,
just
we-
want to make sure that we,
We'll talk about it. We can,
yeah.
when we go back, we'll talk about it a little bit.
So we're not taking a hard position, we think this closes it out,
Okay.
but we do want something that at least protect us, to say that after you sit with the IT people, you go through it, and you say, this is what the new procedure looks like, sit down with us and discuss it.
Sure, absolutely. Did I say that well, Mike?
You did it better than I did.
Oh, you're such a charmer.
You were up to third grade.
Yeah. So basically 33, we're there, just need that one issue.
You mean 31?
31, I'm sorry, yes.
Okay.
On to 33.
So last time we talked about 33, I just want to make sure, I thought the biggest, you were kind of in agreement with everything that we had when we reviewed ours. The only area that I thought my notes showed was if you look at ours, it just shows what's highlighted based on seniority was put in there, right? And then you'll see we did a 4-hour window instead of the 3-hour window that we discussed. And then we talked about 24-hour time frame if we were to request the daily assignment sheets. We would give you 24 hours. That, I did the examples, I had to adjust the times to meet the 4-hour window. So is there any other changes on your copies that were not that, or that are different than what we discussed? So that we won't take a lot of time looking through it?
I think you should review it.
Section 6.
I know, I was just asking. Section 6.
big change from what we last discussed, y'all. So, I appreciate it if y'all walk us through.
So when I see that you said it's like a big change, like that's by going by the only thing that I see is like a key change. And it's just me and you all. The only key change is now we have an opportunity. Because currently right now, even on our wage rates, right, we have full-time operator, we have part-time operator, and we have trolley operator. Currently right now, we don't have any part-time operators. In hopes that at some point, because again, if you look at our current schedule right now, we have individuals, full-time operators with 70 hours overtime, 50 hours overtime. And again, if we had part-time operators, or we had the ability to implement part-time operators, that would actually take some stress or strain off of our full-time operators. And currently, you know, the way that this is written is allowing us to be able to get part-time operators and be able to place them in those extra work positions. Everything is still done, it was the key, everything is still done by seniority basis. If I know Ms. Langley said section 6. If you go back in section 5, the way section 5 is written, it's simply written to still cover, to make sure that we get part-time operators. We still able to still do it by seniority ops. Full-time operators still get seniority basis. But the way it'll happen now is that we'll have to get a part-time operator opportunity, but it can't exceed 30 hours, right? Because we still have to schedule them over 30 hours, but they can't exceed that 30 hours. But if we got someone in a part-time role, from a management standpoint, we got someone in a part-time role that only had 25 hours scheduled that week. I got a 5-hour run for extra work. I can allow them to see if they're able to come in and do that extra 5 hours from a management standpoint. So now we'll be paying another one of my full-time operators by seniority basis. Not that I want to take away hours, but again, when I hear the stress, the strain, the accidents being called because I'm overworking them, it's kind of like thinking ahead. That's just when I read that. That's a management attempting to think ahead on how we can actually like mitigate some of the issues that are involved from a personnel standpoint to us on a daily basis. So I actually think that, I don't know if you all maybe need to caucus. I think, Mr. Lane, if you really
We definitely need to caucus because it's changes in here that we had discussed.
I think if you all really go and just read 33 completely just through and like really look at it and compare it to your document, we still aren't that far off. Everything is still based on seniority basis.
So if I could just interject on one thing about part-timers. I know the history of part-timers. It is, you know, my opinion personally, I'm not projecting, we agreed to part-timers, we'll probably go up to 10 or whatever it is. But I'll tell you, history shows part-timers don't make it in transit, okay? At our location, and Tanya knows this, she's seen them coming and going. They rotate, it's like a door, and we've never been able to maintain part-timers. They come in and they realize that, they get there and they realize the hours aren't there. Most of them all want to be full-time. And, but prior to you even being here before the pandemic, which now you have none, we averaged 2, 1, maybe 3 at a time, because people were not wanting that. They were wanting the full-time positions. I just don't see a huge influx of part-timers coming in. That's just me.
Yes, sir. But I guess that's okay. So from a management standpoint, that's still okay. That's still historical data. I love historical data, but the thinking ahead, just in case, like it's almost still like that. What if? Because from my standpoint, from a management standpoint, I still feel that having that availability to have part-time operators, like if there's one or if there's two, again, they still to remain part-time. They can't go over 30 hours. That's or they could be considered full-time.
Right.
But we can be able to utilize them to mitigate like some of those the issues that would happen. I mean, you've expressed to me yourself
Yeah.
the cause of some of the incidents / accidents that we may be having is because we on a continuous basis utilizing individuals, and it usually has to be the same individuals because of the way that extra work is actually assigned. So if I go over the payroll, it's usually the same individuals who receive the most overtime because it's by seniority basis, and I don't have a problem with that. But what I don't want to occur, again, I have 20+ year employees, which usually means that they're a little up in age, and then they're a little up in age. Sometimes we have issues where their perception is a little bit different than what it used to be when they were younger. And then now, because of the extra work that they're working, now they're having more accidents than they normally do, or we have incidents and all of the things that happen. And then now, you know who ends up looking like the bad guy? Because now I have to get rid of that employee because of I gotta follow the safety and security plan. It's imagine. When that's not what I want. What I would prefer to have is to be able to have someone who can fill in those spots and to allow, and again, it's just me just thinking ahead from a manager's perspective. It's just strategic thinking to me. And it's having that, and I promise you, if you really look at your Article 33, our Article 33, the only change is everything is still in seniority basis, and it's still, most of the common practice that we currently already have, the only change is just thinking ahead about the what if we're able to get some part-time operators to pull away.
And you're saying part-timers can be filled in first? Is that what it's saying?
Before you get to the extra board.
And again, one of the last historical things is most of the part-timers that we ever saw come onto our property were usually school bus drivers. And you know they're limited. They would come in and say, I have to drive my route over at Escambia County in the morning. I got my afternoon. I can only work this little piece right here, and this is just my. I have history too. I remember management getting frustrated because these individuals would say, I can't drive. I can't do this. I can't do that, and it became a frustrating game. And it got to the point where they said, well, we're not going to hire any part-timers unless they have an open-ended availability. So I'm just saying it out loud to you. You know, I think your best bet is to go out and start those classes and get those paratransit drivers. They're all ready to come over.
And I understand that, and I hear that. And of course, again, with the actual shortage of full-time operators that we have, I want more operators. But still, even if I got more full-time operators, I still have to think about, from a strategic management standpoint, in regards to our budget. Again, you know, as I said before, I want everybody to have to work, right? I don't care the money that they make, but I also, from a safety standpoint, though, like right now, with how the format that we're currently under right now, that there are safety issues.
Look, we ain't got to argue that point, right? Part-timers ain't gonna be our issue, they're in the contract, it is what it is. My concern is, I don't want to agree to verbiage such as Section 5B,
Right.
where you got work will be assigned on a seniority basis to any extra board operator who can perform the work, period, for us. Without incurring overtime, that's part of the process. I don't want to put in the contract without incurring overtime.
So that's part.
Yeah, I mean, we understand it's there, but as part of the process, whether it is or is not overtime is determined by the process and what somebody's hours is. So behind the scenes, from a managerial perspective, I understand that's what the format is doing. But everywhere you got without incurring overtime, we don't want that in the contract. You know, and I don't have a problem, and we'll talk during our caucus, but the process of the extra board, then the regular operator, then the part-time operator, all of that is not the issue. So you can only have so many part-timers in the contract anyway. So if you utilize your right to have them, it's not an issue for us. You know, but that verbiage without concurring overtime, we don't want to agree to that in the contract.
Well, I think that's written in there. Just think about it, because right now, the current process, right? What we don't want, right? This is what I've heard. Why does extra board, the extra work goes to the extra board all the time, right, Ms. Lane? If the extra board goes we don't want the extra board to get all the work all the time, right? So if I got somebody. No, ma'am, no, it's saying right here, without incurring overtime. So those extra board operators, right, that's guaranteed those 40, like right now, if Mr. Barnes, well, in addition when I began here, right, it was said the then operation manager, he was giving the extra work, all the extra work to the extra board. Now, but now with the way this is written, that once they reach our normal extra board operators on the extra board list prior to the week's beginning, after they reach their 40 hours, their normal runs, now the extra work goes to the list. So if I got somebody
So
that's
that's why it's called extra work.
Right,
Uh,
but that,
but-
without incurring
Wait.
overtime is.
So,
the
yeah, so you're
expired labor.
eliminating overtime.
no,
Not eliminating,
That's-
but
that's
trying to
status
cut
quo.
it down to,
that's not what we're doing. What we're doing right now, what I've heard operators say, I don't want the extra board to receive all of the extra work. What about the other operators, the other full-time operators? So without incurring overtime, now it goes to the scene. After 40 hours for the extra board, I use the extra board. Now, once I use the extra board for their 40 hours, now I'm going to that list in my seniority order. So
Right,
now my
that's-
seniors, Ms. Brooks, she's
that's-
going to get her
And-
overtime.
So here's my saying, and I understand what you're saying, but the problem wasn't fixed by putting that verbiage in. It has to be managed. And what I see, and don't hit at anybody else, that the manager applied it wrong in the contract. The contract says 40 hours is what's guaranteed to all operators, period. After 40 hours is extra work. And extra work means that I have it after I exhaust the process, it has to go to the process. The contract has to be managed, right? Prior to you, the contract wasn't being managed, so they put in verbiage that says it doesn't, without incurring overtime. That shouldn't have to be in there. It's a process already laid out. I agree with exactly what you said. After 40 hours, you move to the next person or the next part of the process, and so on down the line, who's available. We understand you're not gonna concur overtime first, and that's why you got a daily overtime sign-up sheet, because guess what? After you've exhausted all of those people, then you're supposed to ask for overtime, which is daily overtime, which is the all-call, and then go down the list. It has to be managed right. You don't have to put all of this verbiage in here to do all of these things. It just needs to be managed. That's my point.
Okay, but you know that phrase is in the expired labor
I
agreement.
just said I understand
Okay.
that, but however, I think you didn't hear me.
I did hear
We
you.
heard
It
you.
wasn't managed right. And I understand exactly what Mr. Kimbrough is saying. And in all other transit agencies, this process is the same process throughout. And the reason why that language got in there without me even asking these guys is it because it wasn't being managed. It was being manipulated somewhere. Who, what, when, or how, I'm not here to point fingers. But I can tell because I do this for a living in every city.
Is there any other part of the article that you want to look at, or do you want to take a break and talk about
I
it?
think that that's the only one that I see. Now, Ms. Lane had something else I didn't ask you yet.
I don't agree with it. You putting it as follows, part-time, extra board, regular operator. That shouldn't even be in there.
You talking about section 6?
Yeah, that's the part I was talking about.
No, Mr. Lane, the reason why we're putting that as follows is because now what we're doing is we're putting that actual, she's in section 6, not the first paragraph. But it'll say extra work will be assigned by seniority operators that made themselves available by signing up for extra work on the sign-up sheet as follows. Will utilize the part-time operators, again, and they only can do 30 hours a week. That's it, because
I
anytime.
understand what you're
And
saying.
then the extra board operators with available hours. That's saying that if they extra board, again, they're guaranteed 40. But so if they already are signed up for, they already got a job, that already has 40 hours, they don't get to go first. It automatically goes to we're gonna go to our.
That's not the way they gonna see it though, Mr. Kimbrough. I'm gonna tell you.
Let us talk about it.
Yeah, but again, I think that's where, again, in the past, where we maybe haven't managed it correctly, but
Let's talk,
that's
let us
fine.
talk
Okay,
about
all
it.
right,
All right, let's take a call.
thank you.
Okay, thank you for explaining
Thank you.
it. Oh, and I will point out that we would write the same version. Oh, sorry. That's the one. On page 3, we like where it says at the bottom, the last part of the yellow part, we'd like to add the same verbiage we had on the 31, where that the software changes at the direction of the mass transit director. Whatever we agree to in 31, we just want to put over here under that section. All right, we understand. So that's all. Let me answer that.
Okay.
They go somewhere.
Okay, return from caucus.
All right, so I guess based on some feedback that Rock in the room with us, we went ahead and took the opportunity to revise the articles and incorporate y'all's input. And we got it redrafted and we're fixing to pass them out to you for your review.
Okay,
Very
we
good.
appreciate it. And I did, you know, my team did tell me what the verbiage meant and all that, so I dropped my position on it, so hopefully we can TA it.
All right, got it. Hopefully so.
I'm sorry.
It's fine.
Can you look at it?
Yeah, of course, yeah. You had 5, so we brought one in, trying to even it up. You know, normally we can't compete, usually you have 7 or 8 on your side.
Well, you know, we heard what Curtis said last time.
Are we short?
Can I?
Short?
Sorry,
Sorry.
sorry, we don't.
Nice try.
Share, yeah, we're looking,
That's okay.
Those
we're
are
looking
the-
at.
Elaine will show.
Yeah, maybe get copies.
The paperwork.
Oh, so you took it out? I took it out.
Well, because again, it says that because it was redundant language, it pretty much stated the same thing. That other paragraph, so we go there where it says extra work will be assigned on senior basis to extra work operators who can perform the work without incurring overtime. The end of regular operation, so all we did was move that paragraph that already stated the same thing.
Okay.
It's there. And then, so now it's still saying the part-time bus operators, they can't exceed 30 hours in the work week. It's everything just took out all the extra stuff, just took it away. And now it's just, so now it still will be the full-time seniority basis, extra work go in seniority order. Boom, boom, boom.
Is that okay?
They said, perform the, work of other
And part-time operators still can't get higher than 30 hours.
Yeah, I think it's all right. Just cross it out, and then they read. And my concern that was earlier, the city changed the verbiage just to say, on both of them, that they will be scheduling of software changes, which means that, as you said before, it just falls under technology. When you get it, you sit down and talk about the changes of the policy. Okay. Just want to make sure I understood openly.
You all good? I gotta get Elaine's approval, otherwise I can't move on yet. Huh?
Yeah, I think and appreciate you guys making the changes.
Okay.
Sure.
I think we can sign off on this.
All right, I'm assuming Mr. Marino is the signature.
I'm signature today.
So,
A clean version of 31,
I have a clean one here and a clean 33.
so here's the extra 31.
So you want me to sign them now?
Yep.
Take more, get started.
Just do 31 first. And then
I will.
Then I'll give you a clean, just that front page.
I got 33 here, I got one.
No, I'm saying this is the clean version.
So that's not what I'm
do the clean version of that.
Today's 24th, right?
Yes.
All day long.
Good.
My dad says all the time.
You want me to just sign the one page, right?
We'll just sign the
Yeah.
back page.
Okay, okay, so which one is this? Don't help me, I'm getting confused here. Where's the back page, right here? Yes. Okay. So this is where we want to go first. At night? I don't know about that. There's two of them right there. For 31, we'll work on 33.
Okay.
That one. What did you do with it? No, not staple.
Hand you my 31.
Maybe I'm the one that,
You need to
Thank
make
God.
a copy or have your stuff.
Okay.
yeah, let's use yours. He's got some. Hang on. Yeah, that's the one.
I'll give you the original, and I'll see a copy of myself.
Thank you.
Thirty-three is ready, Chris.
Yeah.
You sat down, I said, well, I'll take it.
Yeah, okay.
Paperwork and stuff. Oh, you did, Curtis. You're back. You did, I use his. That's fine.
Thank you very much. So, thank you for that.
Yep,
It's good to be able
Thank
to
y'all.
jump on that and get that out the way,
absolutely.
especially before lunchtime. We'd like to take a lunch though.
Absolutely, sure.
And then, as we said, we believe there's a couple of other articles that we're close on and we can have discussion on, whichever way you want to go.
Okay,
Military paydays, jury duty, even seniority, so we think we can knock out a couple more today too.
okay. So when you want to come back?
It's 12:30 now, an hour, 1:30,
I hope we can
What
do
do you say,
it.
what did you say, 2?
2 o'clock? Okay,
Yeah,
all right.
Does that give you enough time to look at everything too?
yeah, we should be able to look at it. We've already been looking at something.
Can we leave it?
We're
Can we
gonna
leave
leave
all
our
this here
stuff
for?
here.
Yeah,
Sure,
that's
absolutely.
fine. Yeah, that's fine.
Well, thank you.
Yep, thank you, sir.
Appreciate it.
I want to mark down my list, TA.
Okay.
All right. So we got a couple articles that we've talked about previously that I don't think we've formally TA'd, but I think we can or very close. One is paydays, Article 14. I think y'all's proposal asks that we reimburse the renewals of CDL. We're fine with that.
Okay.
So we can put that, if we add that verbiage into Article 14 and maybe we're there.
Yeah.
There's not a lot to it, but we're fine with that.
That was 14?
Yep.
Okay.
Article 35, wage rates. I know we did the MOU for wages, but then, we have the rest of the article.
Did you put a couple of wage reopeners in there too? No, I'm
I think,
serious.
no, I think there is. a
I'm
wage
actually
reopener.
serious about that. You're 2 and 3?
Yeah, but every year, you gotta go by with the commissioners, so I have to.
Wage reopener.
And how's that 2% coming for the fiscal year?
Should be coming.
There you go.
They just approved it the other night.
I know that. Making a lot of people happy.
We'll pass this across. You have that.
While we're in that come around, I know, while we're talking about the actual wages, the position of fueler and cleaner. At some point, I was just wondering to see where you all, in the mindset in regards to maybe looking into creating a job classification for a utility worker.
Did you look at our,
If
you
you
looked at our
maintenance
proposal?
proposal, I combined the two
We called them
and a service tax.
service technician.
And one of the ones you just sent us?
Yeah.
Yeah, you'll see it.
Which article?
The maintenance article.
What is that?
30.
Classifications.
Yeah. Classification of seniority, I think it's
Oh, you gave me a bunch.
39.
Okay.
Someone gave me a bunch.
That's 14.
Here we go.
Article 36.
Yeah, I'm sorry,
That's
36.
fine.
Yeah, we combined those two to make it one entity. That way they could be multitaskable. That
So
makes-
we were thinking along the same lines, that's kind of what we were,
Okay.
uh,
We figured that would be easier. That way, if you were shorthanded in one aspect, you could make it up in the other.
Appreciate that.
Not a problem.
And just for discussion purposes, I was looking more on the lines of top rate of the top three of the fueler and progressing it up. Everything email. I don't have my notes for email, but about those lower
closer
than
to
what
the tech piece, kind of in that range, wasn't it?
was closer to the safety range.
Yeah,
Okay, all right, just, and that was just discussion purposes.
yeah, because the only two that were under the tier period on the percentage was the fueler and the cleaner. And if you combine the two, why not just take the tier, out? Then that way it wouldn't be even a issue. I mean, if you're good with that, I don't see any problem there.
So, on Article 14, maybe, I don't know who I'm supposed to direct this to because it's payroll. In section 1, you struck out all documentation related to requests for pay during the pay period must be turned in to payroll no later than Monday at 12 p.m. of the pay week. Is that, what's the reasoning of striking through that? Is there a procedure that you would follow automatically or what?
Nikki, did you hear that? We have Nikki Powell on Teams.
Oh,
Sorry.
okay.
Yeah, that was an internal procedure that had to be to their internal payroll department by that deadline. So that was probably an internal decision.
So Nikki, what is the procedure for the county for someone to ensure that something's on their paycheck? What would be the last cutoff date?
Our deadline is Friday before, so for passport, it's the Thursday before the following Friday payday. And then for like direct deposit change or something like that, it's the Friday before the Friday payday.
Okay.
So a week in advance? Friday before.
Oh, that-
And then for passport, it's basically a week and a day. For direct deposit, it's a week.
Okay. Let me just look at this other one.
What's the reason of taking number 5 out?
Yeah.
Well, we don't create payroll stubs or anything right now for our county employees. It's all electronic. they can log in and they can check their own information, check their own leaves, check their own balances, check all their own stuff. And as our HRIS comes on board, it'll be even more so.
Are you still sticking with the ability, like, at transit property where you have that computer where people can walk up to?
Yes,
And still print it off on their own if they choose to?
absolutely.
And you can do it from home too, Rick.
And you can do
And from a mobile app. You
a
can
mobile
you can
app.
view all of
You
them.
can't just do it. You gotta go, you have to have an app, right?
You can log in on a website, so you can do it from your computer at home.
Okay.
You can access it anywhere. Right now, the only time you can access it is if you're on county property.
Go ahead, you can
How,
ask.
how far behind is that, Crystal? I mean, I know sometimes you look at, some of the people at work will look at their floating holidays and their vacation, and they'll go, ooh, I've got 32 hours. But does it stay pretty close?
So our pay periods are 2 weeks behind. So when we close payroll on, and I'll just use the next coming payroll, we close payroll on October 1st, and you get paid on October 15th. When you get paid on October 15th, you're seeing your leave accruals and such as of October 1st.
Okay, thank you.
But in the new system, it will be more current, but that's just how it works in the current system.
Okay, great.
You got that name, huh? Both of them, 31 and that.
So we've signed off on it.
Okay.
We're ready to go.
I'll stick around to, just to keep our copy. Got that good?
What's this other 35? Room for a little bit, I wasn't prepared for 35.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Sir? 6:30. 6:30. So,
This one, I think the only issue is I think the only issue for us on the wage part
Uh-huh.
is to have wage reopeners for each year, because you can't do anything or suggest anything except for the yearly budget. So I think that would be the only question or concern we have.
We could put a wage reopener in there, and I know y'all know this already. We are pretty much bound to whatever the board determines to give. As a COLA this year was a little bit different with the push to scale and some things, but we don't envision moving forward having that issue to contend with. Is mainly going to be a COLA.
Right, but we always do an MOU. I think most of the unions do an MOU.
We do.
And that wage reopener would address that MOU part.
We already have the existing, the MOA that was just signed, and that includes the verbiage about any across-the-board increase for 2021. So we wouldn't have to do a separate MOU for that increase that if the board for
I
this
think
year.
he's speaking the next fiscal year.
Yeah.
Right, I'm talking about that.
Yeah, next fiscal year.
That's correct.
That's fine, Kirsch, we'll do
Okay. Then we'll be prepared to sign it.
that. Okay.
so they just add it in.
The wage reopeners typically go in the duration article.
That's fine. That's fine. She's correct about
Well, I didn't hear it.
that.
I did, I didn't hear
Just the way he said it.
The wage reopeners are usually in the duration. So we'll be close to.
it. You didn't sign it yet, did you?
I'm trying to remember, is duration already signed off on?
Yes, it was, but we can reopen it.
We can reopen it to add it, right? Okay, that was my next question.
Yeah.
To you all, I was afraid that it was
So Jim, give me yours, I will.
I didn't receive one, sir.
Give it-
I think I pushed it to Ishmael.
No, we used it over here with this, we,
So she gave them that.
Yeah. I think we used it over there.
So maybe military, is that something that we can look at trying to close out pretty easy?
Well, yeah, we can, let's talk about,
Oh, you got something else?
yeah, let's talk about uniforms and tools, maintenance.
Okay.
I think we were very close on that one.
can I get one more, son?
Yeah, use the one that went down there.
The only one I got stapled.
I need one more, this is 35.
Here's the third, take it back.
Huh?
Are we gonna take it back?
Ms. Hewitt, when do you think we can get that duration changed, to add that language so we can see it?
Here's the 35.
Pretty much.
Thank you.
Don't go nowhere, Wes. You can take them both back with you.
Which one do we go?
Let's keep it moving.
37.
man. Hold on.
Yeah,
37.
too many open, keep moving.
That's it.
Thank you. Jim, I'm gonna let you look at this one here. 37.
Did you need another 35 for your
Huh? Okay, well, then, let's see what it is.
It's uniform. It's the only change is it is.
One.
When we get there.
Do we need to step outside for a quick call?
Hold on, one second, please. Yeah. So you need to look at ours.
Well, let's just step outside. Wes, we're gonna step outside.
Okay, sure thing.
Conversation.
The two right there?
No problem.
Come on.
I'm quick, I ain't that quick. Okay.
Okay. So our only concern
Uh-huh.
is something that, comes up frequently. It rains a lot. We want you to really consider just giving them that rain jacket.
It's in our proposal.
It's in our proposal.
Rain jacket?
Yeah.
That's the only hang up we have with this. And they're walking the yard and doing all these things that, maintenance needs a rain jacket.
Yes. No problem at all with the rain jacket. I talked to Carlos talked to me about this before.
Yes,
And so what Carlos and I decided that we'll make happen is we'll actually, we're gonna order, we're gonna order, all the maintenance technicians, rain jackets that actually have their name. So that was something I told Carlos that 2 weeks ago, that, hey, let's make sure that we get the rain jacket for employees.
Can we just write it in
Yeah, I was just.
and initial it? Would that be okay?
Okay.
Yeah, we discussed it before. I mean, just
That's
for
what
formality,
that proposal is.
because
So,
I'd even talked to Carlos about putting it on the board and having each person pick if you just wanted a jacket, or if you wanted a full jacket, or if you wanted.
Upon,
So- Yeah, because what we have now is just a regular rain jacket, and if you're out there at nighttime and it's dark and on the road, you can. Right, so.
We don't go there often.
no. But the appropriate school would be right compared to Walmart.
Yeah.
We're on a roll now, let's keep going.
Try.
Which ones?
37, 33,
So,
31.
What's that one?
14
Yeah, I was going.
and 35.
Yeah, I'll take it.
What's that, the next one? Which one's the TA?
35.
That's question.
Must be good luck. Thank you.
He's just good at his job.
I'm working on it.
To the operation folks again, thank you, we appreciate that.
Yes, sir. So, you know, I had some things with military leave, bereavement leave, I think jury duty leave, and those sorts of things, I believe.
Right.
We are proposing to roll all of those into what would be Article 8, leaves. And the one caveat I would say to that is Article 8 does refer to Article 18 and Article 21. So we would kind of need to take a look at both of those other articles as well. May take some discussion and some caucus to kind of look through it. for you
We're open
guys.
to combining them, that's not an issue.
Okay. We have enough with 18.
I thought we were gonna wait until we could address 41.
Okay, all right. So,
So that's what we previously proposed for 8. Yeah.
this is what we proposed for 8. We may not be quite ready to dive off into the other articles that's related to it.
Okay, take them one at a time, that's fine. But we agree to combine them, that's not an issue. So can y'all give us about 10 minutes and just let us read over and have some discussion?
Not done.
All right, thank you. This side, we're good.
Perfect. We went ahead and revised Article 48, Congressional Agreement.
Thank you. Mr. Administrator, we do have a count.
Okay.
A little different, but I'm gonna go slow because section 1, we made some changes.
Okay.
We'd like to start with the word all. And we'd like to go, all bargaining unit members shall be eligible to receive. And then we want to add the following leave benefits. Quote, either period or whatever. And the rest of that sentence, we just want to cross out. Then, the rest of the sections, section 2, well, everything we understand that we have open items and we need to negotiate them separately. So we understand that, so I'm just gonna name them. We agree that we need to finish working on section 2, but we're okay with saying, referring to Article 18 and 41. One of our thoughts was we could just incorporate that into this section. It may be a long article, but we're open to either way. Section 3, section 4, the way you have it. And then we would like to incorporate a section 5, leave of absences, which is somewhat in the handbook, we understand that. Then section 6, jury duty, section 7, bereavement, section 8, military, section 9, union business, section 10, workers' comp, section 11, holidays. It's just, we believe all of that incorporates some type of leave, and we know we have to finish negotiating, but just trying to agree to Article 8, saying that these are all the leaves that will be in the article. That's our count. It's a little bit different, but
Yeah.
not far off, I don't think.
Well, maybe not too far off. We'll have to have some more discussion.
Okay,
And then our sign attorney.
okay, no problem. We expected that. I will say to you though, the reason and the heartburn is really with the human resources department policies and procedures in a contract because we have no control over those changes.
Right.
So that would be our biggest burn in this article, the way it was
We
presented.
could probably work it through. I'll be upfront with you. A lot of my desire is to be consistent with the way we operate countywide. And so,
We understood that.
yeah.
We understand that. And that's
So we'll
been said
take
to
it
us
back and
before.
we'll work it some more. I don't know if we're gonna get there this afternoon, Brian.
Oh, we understand, yeah. But we just wanted you to know that. But we fully expected in the other individuals that you wanted to become more in
Sure,
line with the
sure.
county. So we understand that. And thank you for making the change here. Mike, you should be able to sign off on that.
Oh, yes.
For the second, where did I sign off? Oh, me. Let's see, let me read it. The second one.
Good.
Yeah, so the question is just, what is the intent of reopen for interim negotiations, which I think I know, but
Yeah, I want to make sure I got it.
I'm sorry, say it again.
it reads that the agreement may be reopened for interim negotiations on Article 35 wage rates. I read it to mean that we would only be opening it up for wages for that period of time, not the whole contract.
Correct.
Correct. That's the way I read it, but
You're
we want to
exactly-
just clarify it.
You're exactly right.
I just wanted down the recording. Yeah, we're good.
I didn't write it
We're good.
down. So, you got wages out the way. Is it possible to try to knock out,
Something else?
military leave or maybe jury duty or something that's?
Well, I think we made a lot of progress so far today. But I'm not sure we're gonna have time to really delve into too much more.
Okay.
What about seniority requests?
We certainly don't have time for that.
Really?
We're close. I mean, we're close, but I think it's gonna take more time than what we got today.
That's fine.
Okay. Let's see.
You want to schedule, open our calendars up for another date?
Absolutely.
So can we try to do 2 consecutive days, Wesley? Is that gonna?
And if we can work it out, it's fine.
It's kind of important for us, the impasse scheduled for December 6th. We're talking October, November, we should be working hard to try to get this.
Absolutely.
So I think all of us agree we're already in October because we definitely don't have anything left in, well, I don't know. I might have the 29th and 30th, that's this week, so that can't be that.
Here,
Yeah. Usually have, that day. Cancel that.
got it, work it
You still got that work it out?
out. Please, work it out, man.
I have this here.
You got it already.
So I believe,
Give up on Harold, because that's a waste of time. It's a waste of time over there. He's some nasty folks for it, too.
the 11th, the 13th, and the 14th of October, would be dates. And probably the 7th and the 8th.
Do it again.
I would go 7, 8, 11, 13, 14.
14th is not gonna be a good day for us. It's a board meeting day, have a nighttime meeting, so
Okay.
we'll be doing the agenda review and some other stuff.
7, 8, 11.
I have a jury summit on the 11th.
I was say, he's not.
I'll sit under on that one.
Oh, you can't do that.
Any of those work?
No.
None of them?
No,
11th,
sorry.
13th, and 14th.
What about the 7th and 8th? Which is a Thursday and Friday. Which is like a week and a half.
That's better, but I'll have to confirm with his assistant to verify scheduling.
It looks a lot better than the other
Yes.
dates you proposed, so we can verify some availability and we can let you know.
Okay. Yeah, if you wanna look ahead too and do November before it gets caught up, because the last week of, last 2 weeks, I'm in negotiation in my general executive board meeting, but November's kind of wide open. So I could offer you the first week of November and the second week of November, whichever dates are good for you.
This is in addition to what we're asking in October.
Except Friday the 12th. Wife's birthday's on the 13th, I'm not going to do it the 12th.
Did you have the 28th or 29th of October?
No, I have a general executive board
Okay.
meeting, so
No.
I can't do that. Unless President Costco excuses me, I'm sure Mike will make a phone call and give me an excuse.
And you said dates in November again?
The first 2 weeks minus the 12th, Friday the 12th.
Okay. Alrighty.
And I do have the last 2 weeks of November open too, just in case, right now. So whatever dates y'all can agree to out of those dates, I'll be glad to put them.
We will confirm and verify and let you know.
And even if it's more, you know what I mean, even if y'all say we can do 5 or 6 of these days, hopefully we won't do all them days.
Well, I know once we get to mid-November, Thanksgiving hits, that's a short week already right there.
Right.
What dates did we go ask for in October? I just want to check.
7th and 8th, I think.
7th and 8th.
No other dates?
No, they're not available.
We're not available the 11th, 13th, 14th.
Well, the 15th with us, it's an operation.
We can do a half a day on the 15th. I mean, we are scheduled with you on the operational side. I know that's to be worked out. I know that the attorneys are talking, but
I'm amenable to that.
yeah, so we're open to it too.
Okay.
Now, that third week, I've got something on my schedule, but if y'all can find 2 days on a Monday or Tuesday, or 2 days on that Thursday or Friday, I would be willing to tell that group that I can't stay with them all week.
Okay.
So if those dates become available or good for you, I definitely would stay away from that Wednesday, because that would be a travel day for me.
Okay.
I'll try to do as much as I can. I think we're making good headway, and it makes sense to keep it on them.
I think we had a good day today.
So we appreciate it.
We as well.
All set?
Yeah, we're finished.
Okay.
Okay.